Okay. All right. So that is set. Let's see what we can talk about writing skills. I'm going to be first sharing the um, PPT with you. So we'll be discussing that first and then getting on to the activity part, right? Just confirm with me if you're able to see the screen.
No, ma'am. And now it's
Just a minute,
Yeah,
I
ma'am. Now
think
now it's visible.
some
ma'am,
time.
it's visible now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan for all the sessions or the next 4 days, including the one today, is going to be this, right? So you're going to have a mini lesson, and then you'll have a work time where you're going to be practicing a few things, right? So for today's session, we're going to be dealing with mostly the development and decisions of paragraph, right? So one word on that before we begin. The minute we say basic writing skills, we at least a paragraph. Okay, we don't mean writing a sentence, right? This is a basic thing. This is understood in any form of writing that it has to begin with um, um, being able to write a sentence. So that part is going to be covered by your video lectures. So if you're someone who's following that, you'll definitely get the help with how to construct the sentences and what are the essentials of sentence construction. But when you take a class on writing as such, what we intend to teach is actually how, because that's considered the most basic, say the foundations of anybody who wishes to write or any forms of writing, not just someone who wishes to write. If you're even somebody who has to write because of the job or the profession that you're involved in, which is mostly all professions these days. At least you have to write an email, right? If not a full-fledged report or a full-fledged article on something, at least you'll have to write emails. So a lot of things that we discuss then begins with the ability, the basics as far as writing is concerned. So for today's session, we're going to be looking at that part about development and organization as well as the essentials of paragraph, right? So I'll not waste much of time. Let's move on, otherwise we won't get time to the activities. All right. So as you speak about the basic tenets of writing, the first thing that one needs to know is the development and organization of paragraphs, right? So this is the first, what can you say? You can call this as the or elements, okay, all four of them together, the elements of writing, right? So the first thing is what? Developed and organized paragraphs. You must be able to develop a paragraph, not just develop a paragraph, but also an organized paragraph. We look at what this means, right? So within which you're going to be looking at a couple of things. They are referred to as topic sentence, quoting sentence, concluding sentence, and patterns. Okay, by patterns, we refer to the different kinds of paragraphs that you can develop. All the paragraphs are definitely including sentences. However, based on what you want to, based on your purpose of what you want to write down, there are different patterns that the paragraphs can choose, right? So you can either have a classificatory paragraph, you can have a definition paragraph, or you can have an opinion paragraph, you can have a descriptive paragraph. Like descriptive and the narrative paragraphs are the ones which are most commonly found in writing. And within this, you can have several divisions of the cause and effect paragraph, problem solution paragraph, enumerative paragraph. Enumerative means list, right? Or say a sequential paragraph. So these are all the order of arrangement in the paragraph, which is referred to as patterns. Okay, so this forms a part of your development and organization aspect. Also, what forms a part of your development and organization activity is a concept that you call unity and cohesion, right? So what does unity and cohesion mean, and what does signposting within that mean? This is some. But to begin with, just to introduce you to these things, these are a couple of things that you would find within the developed and organized paragraph part. Okay. Then what is next? The next thing that you see there is what? Appropriate writing style and tone. This is an essential part when it comes to writing. Look at what is written there, formal, informal, right? So we know about the formal and informal methods that we use in the spoken language, right? So the same thing is applicable also for writing. The formal, informal aspects are applicable to writing as well, depending on who you are writing to. That means who your audience is, what your purpose is, what your circumstances. Your style can be either formal or informal, right? Within this, what is also important is the tone. So style and tone, they actually go hand in hand. They are in tandem, right? Uh, Within tones, you have a couple of them like ironic, emotional, intellectual, impersonal, which is also referred to as the objective tone, right? Becomes a part of your writing, right? So it cannot be just a dry paragraph that you've written. This paragraph should also inculcate the style and tone that is appropriate to your audience and the purpose that you're writing. Right? So you will see. So something that is a style that is adopted in writing an email is not the same as one that you see in, say, a creative writing, right? Creative writing allows for more ironic tones, more of fantasy and satire, etc. However, that is not the case with an email or an official letter that you write, right? It needs to be more objective and impersonal in tone. Asif, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for
Yeah,
interruption. Yeah, good evening, ma'am. How can we incorporate the
just go
tone in
ahead,
a
please.
yeah? How can we
Uh,
incorporate a tone in the writing? Means how it could be an emotional one or how it could be a formal one.
yeah, yeah,
In
we'll
spelling.
discuss about it.
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
We'll discuss, okay?
Okay.
We're going to be taking all of them one by one. For today's voice problem, am I not audible to all of you, Shubham?
No, ma'am. In between there were some glitches. Maybe that was mentioned.
Okay, all right. But it is far and wide okay, right? It's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
like a
Overall, it's
major
it's
issue.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So about this, we are going to be taking up each of this one by one. We cannot first talk about all of this in one go. For today's session, we're just looking at the first element. And this, I am talking to you because this is an introductory slide, right? I need to take you through this. All of this will be discussed separately. All the four sessions are, they are built on this. Okay. Okay. So within tones, you can have different approaches like an ironic tone or an emotional, intellectual, or impersonal tone. And like I mentioned, it differs based on what you're writing, who your audience is, what your purpose is, right? We'll see how that can be done. Of course, all of this is achieved through what? The language, right? Language is your scaffold when it comes to making anything, whether it's speaking or whether it's writing. You are going to use language in certain way. You're going to play around with the structures of the sentences in certain way in order to bring about these styles and tones. And we look at it. How do we do that? Third thing, of course, in writing or whether in speech, the most important aspect is also the clarity of ideas. People need to understand what you're saying, right? There needs to be an evened out writing on what exactly your point is, what exactly your topic is, right? And clarity of ideas is mostly uh, elaborated on or it is brought about through the word choice that you make to write it and also the vocabulary. Word choice and vocabulary, they go hand in hand. A better thing to say while you're talking about writing would be word choice than vocabulary. But I thought it would be a new thing for all of you, which is why I just added vocabulary. Otherwise, you can just say word choice and leave it at that. That's fine. We're doing it. Okay. That's one. Is the screen visible to you guys? Yeah. And then the last part is spelling and grammar. So in spelling and grammar, the major part that we are going to be looking at in terms of writing, right? So we can call it spelling and grammar in general terms, but when you talk about it in the terms of writing or writing skills, what you're referring to is the proofreading and editing part. Okay, so spelling and grammar is mostly a part of your proofreading. Editing is a little different from spelling and grammar. Editing has to be mostly about the content that you have written, whereas proofreading is mostly centered on the spelling and grammar. Okay, nevertheless, they are grouped together under this one. Okay, so these are the four elements that you need to, if you have, say, a check box to see whether you have written well, okay, whether a piece of writing that you have is written well, then these are the four check boxes that you need to have. You have to check whether you have developed and organized paragraphs, and within that all of the things that you see on the screen, right? C, check for a good topic sentence, supporting sentences, concluding sentence, a pattern that you have chosen, and the unity and cohesion of all the sentences. Have you used an appropriate writing style and tone? Okay. Is there a good clarity of ideas? And uh, last and not the least, the spelling and grammar, right? Whether you have actually achieved what you are supposed to write with respect to the content and also the spelling and grammar, right? So these are the four things that you're going to look for when you're writing to check whether you have written something properly or not. Okay. So this is about the introductory aspect. Anything that you want to ask? Okay, all right. So now we're going to look at the first thing within the uh, development and organization of the paragraph. The first and the foremost thing that you need to be knowing about is the topic sentence, right? This is essential. Every paragraph requires a topic sentence. You cannot write or you cannot have an effective paragraph without a topic sentence. What is this? Okay. So topic sentence is that which makes a claim about the topic in question. Okay. So it's a claim about the topic that you want to discuss, and it could be anything. The topic can be anything. But what is a topic sentence? It is essentially a claim that is made about the topic in question. It should be arguable, which means the meaning of the word arguable here is that the paragraph, along with the supporting sentences and concluding sentence that you have, should be able to establish this claim that is being made in the topic sentence, right? So topic sentence is the claim itself, and the rest of the paragraph, if it is able to establish the claim that is being made, then that is another sign of confirming whether what you've written is a topic sentence or not, right? If you use it as a diagnostic. Uh, Additionally, the task of a topic sentence, the function of a topic sentence is to reveal the main point of the purpose of the paragraph, the central idea of your paragraph, and it also works towards connecting to the overall attitude of the paragraph. What does that mean? When you say overall attitude of the paragraph, it means it shows the perspective of the author. Okay, it reveals or it sheds light on what is the perspective of the author while he or she writes down this paragraph, right, about the topic. So these are some of the things that topic sentence do, or this is what topic sentence would mean. We'll look at, just quickly read this paragraph and then go over and look at how the topic sentence works in a paragraph. Right? Just read through this one, the excerpt that you see on the screen. What is it? This is millennials, those born between the early 1980s and the early 1990s, make up a huge part of our workforce, but they seem to lack loyalty to the companies and the leaders they work for. Multinational companies are noticing larger turnover rates of millennials as employee retention rates fall. This report looks at the findings of two large-scale surveys on the mindset of the millennial generation and explores how organizations can strive to address these needs, increase employee engagement, and encourage retention. Okay, do you want to read it again? If you want, you can do that.
Ma'am, when you said the topic sentence should be arguable, uh, what does that mean with respect to this
Sorry,
topic?
Chetan, you weren't clear. I'm sorry. It would be nice if you can go over again.
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure. I
Yeah.
was asking, ma'am, when you said that topic sentence should be arguable, uh,
Ah.
what would that mean with respect to this topic, with this article?
Yes, we look at that. Okay, so for that, we need to first look at what the topic sentence here is. Okay, for the time being, we're just going to read this one and we're going to actually see how do you identify a topic sentence in a paragraph, right? So first we'll do that, and then we'll look at what do we mean by, topic sentence should be something that is arguable. Okay, so read this one first. I'm going to take you to the next slide where I can show you how do you recognize or you identify a topic sentence, and then we'll answer your question. Okay. Okay, is that fine? Have everyone at least been able to catch a glimpse of what this thing is? All right. Now look at this, okay? How do you identify the topic, right? What questions will you ask yourself if you want to identify the topic in a paragraph? Look at those questions there. What is this paragraph mostly about? What is the big idea of the paragraph? What single word can you use to describe the paragraph? And what phrase or word do you see repeated? Okay, so we'll begin with the first one. What is this paragraph mostly about? What is this paragraph mostly about? If you are, if you
Millennials.
can answer it in a word or a phrase, that should be better. Yeah, it's about millennials, of course. Anything more? Anybody else who wants to respond to that?
Ma'am,
Related
maybe
to
the lack of loyalty of the millennials towards their
Okay, lack of loyalty
company.
of the millennials. Any other answers?
Um, Traits of
Millennials, lack of
millennials.
loyalty of millennials towards companies. Traits of millennials. Okay, more? Anything else? All right, so see, in all the three answers that you just heard, my second question, what phrase or word do you see repeated?
millennial in workplace or
Millennials and workplace, right? This is the most common thing that has come up in all the three answers. The first one was just millennials, and the next two pointed towards millennials and workplace, right? So you know by the time that after you've read this and you have asked this question to yourself, you at least see that this is the oft repeated thing the whole the paragraph. Okay? You can also ask the other questions, but if two or three of them are able to answer your question, then you can stop there. You don't have to get answer to all the questions there. These are different questions that will help you answer the question of what is the topic, right? Doesn't mean you have to get answer to all the four here. If at least one or two works for you, then that's fine. For our purpose, we've got the answer that it has to be the work. Right? We don't know what else, but at least we know that this is the often repeated thing. Even if you look at the paragraph itself, you keep seeing the word millennials, millennials everywhere, right? So this is the first thing that you do in order to identify what the topic of the paragraph is. Okay, that's that. Now, the second part, identifying the main idea. Now, keep this in mind. There's a difference between the topic of the paragraph and the main idea of the paragraph, right? The main idea of the paragraph is also responsible to help you give a perspective. Remember this one? Look at this thing that we've read about topic sentence. It should also connect to the overall attitude of the paragraph. It should reveal the main point or purpose of the paragraph. Right? So just knowing the topic is not enough, but you should also know what the main idea is. Okay. How do you understand what is the main idea? You ask these questions. What is the author saying about the topic? What is the paragraph mostly about? What do the details explain about the topic? Now, what do you see here? If I'm going to ask you the question, what is the word that is repeated in all the three questions you see here? What is it? What is the author saying about the topic? What is the paragraph mostly about? What do the details explain about the topic? What do you see repeating here? No?
subject.
About the topic, right? About the topic.
Okay.
Don't you see this? About the topic. What is this paragraph about? Huh? What do the details explain about the topic? So the point here is when you look at the main idea of your paragraph, you're going to look at what is being said about the topic. You have the topic, and then you have to also know about what is being said about the topic, right? What is being said about the topic becomes your main idea, right? Together, the topic and the main idea gives you your topic sentence. Or the other way around, to put it the other way around, you can say a topic sentence is that which contains both the topic and the main idea of the paragraph. Right? So this is the essential. Get this point? Any questions that you have? Now look at this paragraph once again and see if this is true or not. Read it again. You have to look at the topic. You have to also look at the about the topic, right? And see if the rest of the sentences, to answer your question, Chetan,
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the rest of the sentences and see if those sentences are elaborating something on both this topic and about the topic in them. See.
Sure.
So millennials is your topic, rightly identified. And what is your about the topic? That is the main idea.
At workplace.
No, at workplace, the rest of it, right? The rest of it. They make up a huge part of our workforce.
Ma'am,
Okay,
why are
we leave that
millennials?
aside, but they seem to lack loyalty to the. Huh. One
Ma'am,
of
why
you,
are
please mute yourself. There's too much noise in your background. Or try and move to a place where you don't have that much. Okay, because we don't want to disturb the class. Yeah, no, you don't have to give me any, anything that is not present in the paragraph. You can actually pick it out of the paragraph directly. Topic is your millennials, right? And the main idea that the paragraph is trying to convey, right, about the topic is that they seem to lack loyalty to the companies and the leaders they work for. This becomes the main idea that is being discussed about the millennials. Okay, so topic and the main idea about the topic. And now read the rest of the sentences. Multinational companies are noticing larger turnover rates of millennials as employee retention rates fall. This report looks at the findings of two large-scale surveys on the mindset of the millennial generation and explores how organizations can strive to address these needs, increase employee engagement, and so on and so forth. Okay. Elaborate something on what is being said in the topic sentence. A claim is being made in the topic sentence that these millennials lack loyalty to companies and the leaders they work for. Do the next two sentences elaborate on those two things? About the topic sentence? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes?
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So Chetan, does this answer your question? This is
Yes,
what
ma'am.
we mean by topic sentence must be arguable.
Sure.
Of the sentences, which are essentially the supporting sentences and concluding
So
sentences, must be able to elaborate.
yeah, if I get the gist of it, that uh, the contents of the article should support the topic sentence. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Which is why they're called supporting sentences. Okay. The rest of it, you have the topic sentence, the supporting sentence, and the concluding sentence. These are the components of a paragraph. Any paragraph is made up of these three things. Okay, so you'll have a topic sentence, you will have a set of supporting sentences and the concluding sentence. Okay, so the rest of it, which is the supporting sentences and the concluding sentence, must add up to the main idea that is being claimed in the topic sentence. Okay, that is what we mean by it. Okay, understood? Any questions that you have? We are going to look at the next part, which is the supporting sentences. I'm just going to tell you about how supporting sentences, the nature of supporting sentences. You know by now what they do. Their task is yeah. Okay. So supporting sentences. What is the major purpose of the supporting sentence? Look at that. Add, explain. Oh, Mancheshwaran, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself and speak. Or if that's a problem, you can leave a question in the chat too. Okay. All right. So what do the supporting sentences do? The major task is to do the following: add, explain, elaborate, or prove. Right? There is a claim that is being made in the topic sentence, and this claim is argued or elaborated. It's explained, it's proved, or it's added. I mean, more details are added to it. Right? So the supporting sentences would either be adding to the claim, elaborating the claim, or it will be proving the claim. Okay, this is how, this is the function of supporting sentence. And to do these things, it can give you reasons. It can use facts, data, statistics. It can use quotations. It can use an example. Right? Sometimes one of this, sometimes all of this, right? It depends. If you're writing a longer piece, say a report or an essay or something, sometimes you'll have to use all of them, right? If it is just a reasoning paragraph, maybe just the reasoning. And even for reasoning, you can use facts, data, statistics, right? So using of what components become effective depends on what you're writing for. There is no rule or there is no bar on what can be used in that. But for our understanding, to add, explain, elaborate, or prove, supporting sentences can either give you reasons, it can give you facts, data, statistics, it can quote or put through a remark or also add an example. Right? We'll see an example for the ones that we were discussing, millennials at workplace. Please read through this. Can we say the supporting sentences? Fine. Yes. That's what. No, prove, add, elaborate, explain, justify. These are all the same things. We can say supporting sentences are used to justify them. All right. What do you see? So, in a global survey conducted by the PricewaterhouseCoopers, more than 40,000 millennial and non-millennial responses were collected on the topics of workplace culture, communication and working styles, pay structure, career development, work-life balance, etc. In a separate global survey conducted by Deloitte, more than 10,000 millennials participated in a study about their perceptions of the threats and opportunities in the complex world of work. What do you see here? You see facts, figures, statistics? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is how you use it. Okay. We're just trying to understand the very basics of it, right? So if I am to write about the mindset of the millennials or millennials at workplace, the first part of it that we already talked about, the introduction paragraph. So this was the introduction. Huh? And now we are coming to the next part where now we are proving on what has been already put in that, right? These might be separate paragraphs, but to give you an example of how supporting sentences work, okay, how reasoning and statistics and everything can happen in a paragraph, this has been put. And I think it's self-explanatory. I don't have to tell you why this becomes a part of the supporting sentence, right? Okay. Uh, so once again, to take you through that slide, what do supporting sentence do? Our sentences do. They add, explain, elaborate, or prove a claim that is being made in the topic sentence, the paragraph, for which they can use facts, data, statistics, quotations, examples, or reasons. Okay. Now, the last part of this is the concluding sentence. The major task or the function of a concluding sentence is to either restate or reinforce what is being claimed in the topic sentence, right? So you basically just repeat, right? Repeat with a sort of force by adding all the details that we have given in the supporting sentence on the claims made in topic sentence. And while you do that, your concluding sentence can be of one of this nature. It can either be a recommendation sentence. Who is this? Somebody. Hmm. Okay. Uh, Yeah, so your concluding sentences could be either, could be anything among the four that you see on the screen. Could be a sentence that looks like a prediction. It could be something that looks like a suggestion. It could be something that looks like a recommendation, or it could be a final observation or a summary statement. Final observations usually happen when you're writing an opinion, right? So one final observation by the author on the topic being discussed. You can usually find such paragraphs in newspaper editorials, right? Magazines, journals. Journals, by journals, I don't mean scientific journals. The other ones, uh, or say blogs, etc. That you, if you read some of them. Final observation kind of concluding sentences are very common to opinion paragraphs, right? Even summary statements, suggestions, recommendation, predictions, they will have their own, uh, domains of existence, right? So concluding sentence can be one of this four kind that you see here, okay? Either a prediction, recommendation, suggestion, or summary statement and the final observation, okay? We look at an example for the same topic that we were dealing with. And what is it? Just read through. Organizations and managers wanting to retain millennials should consider monitoring their workload and satisfaction levels with their work-life balance, creating a flexible work culture where employees have more control over their working hours and their work location would help the case too. Okay, what kind of what kind of concluding sentence is this? Read through them quickly and tell me what is it.
Ma'am, this is a suggestion.
Recommendation.
Okay. What is it? Is it it is definitely not prediction. It's not final observation and summary also. What is it? This sounds more like a and managers wanting to retain millennials should consider monitoring their workload satisfaction levels, creating a flexible work culture where employees have more control over their working hours and their work location would also help the case too. Like more sounds more like a recommendation given to companies or organizations to manage this problem. Huh? So this can be considered as a concluding sentence to your overall paragraph, right? That you have read about the millennials and their attitude at workplace. Okay, so are you able to see how we have started off with topic sentence, how we identified the topic and the main idea, then progress to the supporting sentence and the concluding sentence?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Anybody? Any question?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the definition of the terms used in the beginning, topic, sentence, and
What I did not use any definition. I've just talked to you about how do you identify topic sentences or what does topic sentence mean. Okay, topic sentence is basically this. You ask me. You need to have the topic and the main idea. Put both of them together and you have a topic sentence. It's a claim that you
okay, so
essentially make,
topic
which needs
sentence,
to be. Yeah.
the topic sentence means the first lines we are using in the paragraph.
Essentially, it
First
is
paragraph.
the first. In no, all paragraphs will have to have the thing. See, for any paragraph, the essential component are the three of these: a topic sentence, a few supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence. Only with respect to concluding sentence, you can keep an exception, especially if it's a longer form of writing. Not all your paragraph need to have a concluding sentence. However, topic sentence and supporting sentences are must in all. Okay. And if it is a standalone paragraph, like you're writing only a single paragraph on something, in that case, concluding sentence is a must. Okay. But if say you're writing an essay or a research paper or something that is a longer form, then it is not essential or it's not mandatory that you have a concluding sentence for each of those paragraphs. However, introductory and conclusion paragraphs must have concluding sentence, right? Okay.
Ma'am, one small thing.
Yeah.
Regarding the supporting sentences,
Uh,
sup- uh, even though what I'm writing is uh, uh, adding to the topic, but it's not directly relevant.
uh,
Should I refrain from adding that excessive those excessive sentences, or should I add them?
so if you know that they're irrelevant, then why will you write it in
No,
first place?
they are
Uh,
connected to the topic, but they're
uh,
not adding much to the topic.
yeah, which is what the meaning of irrelevant is, right? When you say it is not adding much to the topic, then you should avoid.
Sure,
Major aspect in writing is also conciseness, right? You might
sure,
have come across the word brevity, right? Any form of writing, if it needs to be rewarded or needs to be considered a good piece of writing, it needs to follow conciseness. Okay, has to be. It has to ensure you have to ensure the quality of brevity in there.
sure.
Any word or phrase that you think is irrelevant to what you're writing has to go out. And this process happens mostly while you're editing your work. Okay, we'll talk about this while we talk about the editing and proofreading aspects.
Sure.
And even the word choice, right? Even the very process of writing, through the process of writing, when you're choosing the right kind of words that need to fit in, you need to have this thing in your mind that I only write relevant things. Okay. All right. Fine. So this is just a quick paragraph. It's a very simple, almost nonsensical paragraph to make you see topic sentence, supporting sentences, and tell me if you're able to identify the topic sentence, the supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence. Just check if you are able to the topic sentence and the rest too. If you're able to say it, then the purpose is fulfilled. The only idea is to take you through that logic of the development of that. Just give me a thumbs up or a yay if you can say it so that we can. Which can you? Yeah, I
The
have
topic
tried to.
sentence is why a person likes.
Sorry,
On the topic
don't
sentence is
hear
why
you.
a person loves color blue.
You don't have to say why. You just need to be able to identify what the topic sentence is. Right. Okay, a lot of people say yes. There are some people who continue to say, some people are not saying. So those of you are not able to say it, you can ask why is it that am I not able. Okay, so people have identified what is the topic sentence in this paragraph.
The colored blue.
I love the color blue, right? The rest of the things are all supporting sentences to that. It symbolizes many emotions. However, blue is often
The
associated with
appreciation
melancholy.
of blue color.
Yes, surely few would not be of that opinion. All of those things, no, they're just adding to what has been claimed in the topic sentence. And look at the final sentence you have here. Undoubtedly, color that I adore. It is basically just restating what is being said in the topic sentence. I love the color blue. Undoubtedly, it is the magical color that I admire. Same thing, right? Just a restatement or a reinforcement of what's been said in the topic sentence. Okay. But what is important for us is whether all of them add together or not. They do, right? A person has given certain additions or reasons for why they, not directly reasons, but they've elaborated on why they love the color blue. Okay. So this is just a quick look at how you, I mean, like I told you, this is an almost nonsensical kind of a paragraph. This is just to give you a gist of what we have been discussing. So you don't have to take it too seriously. The point is not whether you agree or disagree with it. The point is only that you see the development of paragraph. That's all. Chetan, you have a question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, okay, everyone. Fine. You say this. Sorry. Was that a question or were you just saying, responding to what I said? Okay. All right. So, we'll do one thing now. I am going to share the peer deck file with you now. So, we're going to do the activity. Let's see how to do this. Just screen properly, okay? Do you see the slides now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. They are visible.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to be, you might get a code shortly. So you can copy that code and come to this page on whatever device you're using. so that you're able to answer the questions. Okay. No, thanks. You see the code?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. People who are not able to get this, let me copy this and put it in the chat. If you're not able to get it directly from the screen, maybe you can follow this link that is pasted in your chat section. I see only 4 of you. Okay, 5. How many do we have in the class? About 26. Okay. Do you have a workspace for you on your screen? Just checking if it is working fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So look at this one. In each sentence below, identify the topic and the main idea. Right. So we've just seen that the topic sentence is comprised of your topic and the main idea. Now our task here is to identify what the topic is and what the main idea is. Okay. Even if you're not, if you don't want to write, you can skip that part maybe, but at least try and identify what it is and talk about it. Okay, the first one, artificial intelligence with a written or oral interface is supposed to make our lives easier in future. You can take a few minutes, take 1 or 2 minutes, and you can go through all the 3 and we can discuss them together. Hmm. So what question will you ask for topic? Basically, topic is easy to identify, but if you want to find out the main idea, the question you're going to ask is, what about the topic, right? Responses can keep working. I'm just scrolling through to see if people have responded. Mhm. I think most of you have understood what we mean by topic and main idea. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So in the first one, what is your topic?
Artificial intelligence.
Clearly. Artificial intelligence, right? That is your topic. And what about the topic? The written or oral physics is supposed to make our lives easier in future, which means this is a claim that is being made. Now, the rest of the paragraph is definitely going to elaborate or prove on how this is possible. Okay? So that's the first part. The first question. Second one, the Victorian era is known for the galaxy of female novelists.
Victorian era is the topic.
Okay. It could be anything, but from the sentence that is given to us, there is nothing more that we can guess. So we might have to go by the Victorian era. Okay. But there
Victorian
are
era
thoughts.
female literature.
Sorry.
Victorian era female literature.
Uh, is it not possible to guess from the sentence that it could be about the female novelists, right? I know there could be confusion on whether Victorian era or anything since the only sentence given here. But yeah, okay. We keep it as Victorian era, but I mean I will accept both. That since it's only just one sentence given, it would make more sense when it is seen in a paragraph. Let's keep it like that for the time being. All right. So either you say Victorian era, or there are people who believe it is the female novelist or the female novelist of the Victorian era. All are correct. Let's go by the female novelist of the Victorian era. I think that would accommodate both. Okay. So that's for the second one. The third one, object permanence, is the ability to understand that an object still exists when it can no longer be perceived in any way. Topic.
Ma'am, object permanence.
Object permanence.
Object permanence, right? That's your topic. So we're just going to write about object permanence, and basically a definition that is given, the ability to understand that an object still exists even when it can no longer be perceived. Right? So the idea is the moment you have a paragraph and you're trying to identify the topic sentence of the paragraph, you need to ask two questions. A, what is the topic, for which you will look at what is the most repeated thing in that paragraph, most repeated word or phrase in that paragraph, and what is being spoken about, what is being written about, right? And for the main idea, you're going to focus on what is being spoken about the topic, right? What is the often repeated thing and what is being spoken about that repeated thing. Okay. So that what is being spoken about the repeated thing becomes your main idea. Together, both of them are going to give you a topic sentence. Right? Okay. We go to the next one. Write what you think the supporting sentences. First question, right? This one. If I take the first one, artificial intelligence with a written or oral interface is supposed to make our lives easier in future. You don't have to write down the sentences. You just can, make points on what can be the supporting sentences about. What can it talk about? Remember, it adds, proves, elaborates, explains, right? That's the function of supporting sentence. Just write down what you think can be written about this topic sentence, the first one. AI can make your life easier. Okay. Functions of AI, yes. Novels of Victorian era novels, facts and data about how DL devices are contributing to our life currently. Sorry. Um, Still writing how easy it's our lives. So, relevance of artificial intelligence, yes. Influence of AI in lives, different type of things, right? So female literature in Victorian era, yes. I say that all of you have talked about the first two. Object permanence could be something that requires a little more technical details. No problem, as long as you understand what has to be written, it's fine. Writing often happens after the research, so at least you know some of the common topics. If you are able to make a guess on what to write about, that should be fine. Our point is to learn the mechanism, not the exact details. It can always be done. Give some example about it. Yes, correct. That's also possible. Provides stats about it. This is for what? Stats on female novelists. Okay. Uh, use of technology. Yeah, you can write it from a technological viewpoint. It's trying to meet. Yeah, you basically mean that you can explain what artificial intelligence is. Yes, that's also possible. Technology to improve living standards. Okay. About the influence and changes it makes in human life. Yes, correct. About female novelists and their works. Yes, of course. How can we perform tasks using written or oral instruction? Yes, good. That's also possible. Examples of female novelists and their works. Yes. Some examples of female. Yes. The second one, uh, most of the answers or names of female novels, right? That works. More about female novelists, yes. Huge examples of limited influence also so that it would not rule us. Yes, you can, yeah, you can certainly talk about maybe towards the end of the first paragraph, before you get to the next, the concluding sentence can be contrasting statement on what are the ill effects of AI, okay, trying aspects of your life. That's also one method of writing, right? Everything needn't be in the same direction. You can also change it. We'll talk about this when we take up the class tomorrow on signposting and transition. Right? This is also a method that certain people use. Introduce a contrasting sentence as your concluding point, so as to get to the next point in the paragraph. Okay, all of them more research on object permanence or an application factory. Okay, all of you are people who have responded. You have all responded properly. You have understood what are the things, you know, what are some of the points that you can include while develop this paragraph, right? So supporting sentences basically. Okay, so that's good one. Any questions that anyone has at this point? I will also look at the chat. Okay, let's see. Ganesh, if you have a question, you can ask it. No. Okay.
No, ma'am. All is clear.
Okay. Someone's mic is unmuted. I think you need to mute it unless you're speaking. Please don't keep it on because there are too many disturbances that's generated in the session. Okay, all right. So we go to the next. I don't see any 12 responses. Those of you who are still working on it, I think you have understood by now what has to be written in it, right? Some people take some time to think about these things, I understand. But because we have time constraints, we won't be able to wait for that long. It's a 1 hour long session. Okay, the third one, identify the supporting sentences and concluding sentence for each of the topic sentences given below. I have, okay, I'll do one thing. Just a minute before you work on that. to give you the pasting something. Just confirm with me if you are able to see that change in the page here. Joe, yes, go ahead. What's your question? Do you see a change slide here, or is it the same slide? It's the same slide.
Ma'am, same slide.
Same
What a
slide,
sense.
right? Okay. Okay. Joe, did you have a question? Okay, this the paragraph here. I did not do that. Let's do one thing. Um, we'll take that up for we'll actually I'll share that slide with you so that you can see it, because without that it will be difficult to see. So let me show you the slide so that you understand what we want. Just a minute. This was supposed to be there. I did not copy it. Sorry for that. So this is the task. Identify the supporting sentences and concluding sentence for each of the topic sentences given below. Okay, this is the same. The topic sentences from the first exercise that we did. Our task is to see which among the three, one, two, or three, is your topic sentences and your concluding sentence. Right? You need to choose which one is a supporting sentence and which one is a concluding sentence. Just go through that and let me know.
Well, 1 and 3 are supporting sentences.
1 and 3 are supporting sentence. Is it true for everyone else? Read through, no rush. Okay, yeah. Most of the people agree that 1 and 3 are. Yes, so 1 and 3 are your supporting sentences, and it therefore seems natural to take advantage of innovative technologies is your concluding sentence. So even without I telling you how do you identify and all that, you're able to make this distinction, right? So this is what we are going to look at for tomorrow's topic about what is unity and cohesion. Okay, this is a very essential concept in writing. It is good that we look at an exercise like this so that tomorrow it becomes easy for us to understand the concept of coherence. Okay, so you're right. The first and the third one is your are your supporting sentences, and the second one is your concluding sentence. Okay, let's go to the next one. Second one. Same task. So read through and tell me which ones do you think are the supporting sentences and which one do you think can be a uh, probable candidate for the concluding sentence. Okay, the last one of the four, the two first named were sisters. It's a typo. Where is this missing, sisters? One, three, four, 135 are supporting. 134 are supporting. 4 and 5, 3 and 4. Okay. 1, what would that would be a better way to do. Second is the conclusion. No, second is not the conclusion one. One, two, three, 5 are supporting. 2, 3, 5 are supporting. Okay. Other people, do we move to the answer? Do you want to see the answer? Fourth is concluding. Okay. Many people are of the, somebody else said something else. No. Okay, no. He also said fourth is concluding. 1, 2, 3, 5 supporting. Okay. 1, 4, 5. Okay. Should I show you the answer? Or are there people still trying to figure out?
Then you can show the answer.
Can show the answer? Okay. What's your answer? Read through. So, see? Okay, this is why coherence, the concept of coherence is very important in writing, right? The moment you see the paragraph in whole, now you know how the logic follows, right? So this is one common thing. Anybody who's learning to write, anybody who wants to write, reasoning as you call it, right? Writing is basically putting things logically together, right? So once you have this together, you see the flow, and now you know how they are, supporting sentences and concluding sentence, right? This is precisely what you mean by the concept of cohesion and coherence. Okay, we discuss it tomorrow, but for the time being, you see what the answer is. Any question that you have? Or it's okay, you see it properly.
Ma'am.
All right? Priya.
Ma'am, if we contrast, however, the four most important women novelists, is that a topic sentence?
Which one? However,
in between,
foremost.
We are
It's not a
contrasting.
topic sentence. Topic sentence is already given. The Victorian era is not for the galaxy of female novelists.
Okay.
No, you check it because the rest of the sentences are all pointing towards that. Right? It's
Yes.
explained that particular claim that's been made. No? So yeah.
No, my
This
question
one, however,
is
the foremost. Yeah.
is
Go
that
on, go on.
Yeah, is that that means in that case, if we write some topic sentence, we write the supporting sentence. When we that part comes in another paragraph, or like that we can for and
Oh,
contrast the same
got
sentence.
it, got it.
Is that
I got your question. So, see, you can do it in two different ways. Either you can shift the contrast part as a different paragraph altogether, or another thing that you can do is like this paragraph is done. Okay, what it is done is it is kept that contrasting aspect as the concluding sentence, which means the next paragraph is going to talk about it. Okay, even if it is a longer piece of writing. Okay, so either you keep one paragraph entirely on this and then finish it off and then take up the contrasting aspect in the next one, or to go to that next aspect, the contrasting aspect in the following paragraph, you can slightly mention that as the concluding sentence in the previous paragraph. This method is also used
okay?
in
Okay.
order to ensure a smooth transition from this to the next. So that no, it doesn't look like, okay, all this while you've been saying something and suddenly you've started talking about something else. Okay. So to allow for that flow and transition, usually what you do while writing is you keep the contrasting part as the end of your previous paragraph so that there's a flow to the next. The reader is alerted, right? The reader is given a cue that the next paragraph is going to now speak about this. Okay. That method can be used. It's very commonly used actually in writing. Okay, did I answer your question if I've understood you correctly?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, all right. Fine. Now the last, oh, not this. Is the question? This one. Third one. Object permanence is the ability to understand. That's your topic sentence. You have just two of them there. You just need to choose between these two, which would be more suitable. Which one among the first and the second? Ah, correct. Okay. Second one is your supporting sentence. Okay, even if you look at the order of arrangement, you know, right? One is supporting. One is supporting. No. Okay. Some people might tell you that there is no concluding sentences. The both of them are supporting sentence. I'll take that answer as well. I'll take both. If you tell me second is supporting and the first one is concluding, that's fine. If you tell me both are supporting, again, I'll take it. Not an issue. Second is supporting. In the given context, since we don't have any other information here, for our purpose, second one is more or less like a conclusion. Okay. However, if it is say in a longer one, then you might want to say that both of them act as supporting sentences, and there's no concluding sentence. Okay. Okay. All right. So any quick questions? 7:11, almost 7:15. Anything that you have?
Ma'am, I have a query regarding previous slide.
Sure. Go ahead.
In the third sentence, it is starting with they,
Ah.
Victorian era. Yeah, they also include Mrs. Sherlock.
They also include Mrs. Trollope, Mrs. Dole, Mrs.
Ma'am,
Marrow, Miss
what are
Spray.
we referring to when we start with they?
They refers to the female writers, right? Sorry, novelists.
Okay, but in the previous sentence, the second sentence, there are
Ah.
only four have been mentioned. So, I mean, when we are talking about they, I don't think it is being connected properly.
It is. It is. See, look
Because
at the topic sentence, no?
we have already mentioned.
They refers to the female novelists that is already mentioned in the topic sentence, right? We also have the practice of using pronouns, right? We don't have to repeat the things every time. We can simply use a pronoun they and then finish it off, right? Read it together. The Victorian era is known for the galaxy of female novelists. Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, Mrs. Gaskell, and George Eliot are in prime focus. They, so on and so forth. Okay. They refers to the female novels. It's okay.
Yeah, but had it been the second sentence, then it would have been better. I mean, the second sentence is actually mentioning the four novelists, and then in the third sentence they is the first position. So had it been in the first position, in the second sentence.
You can write it if you want to write it like that, but it is not an extremely essential element. It doesn't make much difference to what you're saying. The idea remains the same. You can sequence if you want, but I don't think it makes any major changes to what you're trying to say.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? So we'll continue, of course. We've just covered the first deal in this one, which is the first part. That is the development and organization part. Tomorrow we're going to deal with unity, cohesion, and also style and tone together. Okay. Any questions? We stop and we continue tomorrow. Any quick questions? Anybody? Any confusions, doubts, concerns?
Ma'am, will we get the content also for this?
Yeah. Yes, you will get it. You'll get it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is that all? So shall we call it a day? Okay, everyone, thanks for joining in. Hope you can.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
When will the revision session will held?
Revision session for
For quiz 2.
or quiz. I do not know. If there is a session, if at all there's a session, you will get an email. Please check on your mail or announce list. We don't have any information on the revision session as of now. But if it is there, you'll get an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
There should be a mock test, no, ma'am, before the quiz.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining, and I hope you all can make it to tomorrow.